Welcome back to KimchiRednecks. Today we are doing something new. We are doing the shine.
Yeehaw.
So, camera woman number one is not here at the moment, so we are going to talk you through the system. Oh, by the way, you like my overalls? I got country sexy going on.
Woo-wee! Them some country overalls, I'll tell you what.
So, first thing we've got here, let me flip my screen around, is Sookie Dog in her overalls. Yay, isn't she cute? So, we've got here is our bucket of mash.
Bucket of mash.
So, we are doing just a simple straight sugar shine, so there's nothing to it there. It's, let's see if we can focus on it. If you can see it, there's still a little bit of roll going on in that, so the yeast isn't quite done, but it has gotten to the yeasty kind of flat stale beer stage, so
bubbly.
there should be something in there to cook. So that is going to get poured into this big old thick boy.
Yeehaw.
So 13-gallon pot. Got it on a Korean magnetic induction eye so we don't accidentally blow ourselves up. So that
Not
should
yet.
steam out into from the copper junction here, through the little tube, into the thump keg. It's kind of a small one, but it should get the job done. So we're going to put a little flavor in it because sugar shine isn't supposed to have a lot of flavor to it. So we've got some honey black raspberry tea mix here. Koreans have some spectacular tea mixes. We'll set that over there. So that's going to go in here. Should pick up some flavor from the steam come through. That's going to come out. Goes into the coil here, which will be picking up nice cold water. I've got some ice bottles in this pot of water here. And then we should hopefully come out of the drip there and be some shine.
A-okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put the camera up on the tripod there, and we're gonna see how this works. All right. So first thing we got to do, this whole shenanigan comes off, and we're gonna pour stuff into a pot. Where'd I put my brew bags at? Apparently I bought the right ones for the job.
Yeah, really.
So this is big enough, we ought to be able to just put it around the rim and pull the drawstring. Let's see if I can manage to not pour this all over my kitchen. So far, so good. I don't think we can actually even see that on camera from here.
No, definitely not. Pretty cool.
It definitely has that beery smell to it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So let's grab a handle here. So I tested this with another steel pot the other day, and it worked just fine. So it should work with this no problem.
Very
if it
good.
does give us a problem, they actually make induction plates. So this thing,
More even.
I was worried that these little feet would get it too far away from the surface and the magnetic wouldn't work.
Right.
But apparently it works fine. So yeah, you put it on top of the induction eye, and then you put your pot or your pan or your whatever that's not magnetic induction on this, and it heats up still. So
Yeah, even.
and it gives you even heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into this, I would like a second pair of eyes that the instructions on this are less than spectacular. So you got the temperature probe.
Yeah.
It says washer on the outside,
Okay.
and then nut on the inside.
Yep. Nut on the inside, washer on the outside.
So, and then same thing with this. You can see it from here, but you got the brass bit, you got the white washer, and then there's the brass nut holding it on the inside.
Okay. White washer, nut on the inside.
So that's literally you go from this instruction to this instruction. So
Typical Air Force TOs, by the way.
So make sure these are all joined at each end and got their silicon washers in them. So I did find, in case anybody was wondering, in the bag on the inside, they did supply an extra set of washers for those in case you lose them. So that's actually a little more generous of them than I was expecting. And then it goes immediately into how to make stuff. So that is literally all the instruction you get.
Very basic. That's all you need. Just
On the other hand,
cooking is what
the
they
whole
said.
back half of this thing is recipes for how to make different kinds of alcohol. So they were looking out for you on that end, though.
Yeah.
All right, so we got stuff in there.
Ain't rocket science is what we call that.
All right, so we will put.
I'm not trying to over torque it. Been there, done that.
All right, so that's locked into place.
Oh, loosening.
Righty-tighty, not lefty-loosey. I'm going snug on these. I'm not trying to cinch them. Like you said, this isn't exactly going to be a high-pressure system. Yeah, I just want to be able to get these things off again later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Easily.
All right.
Very good.
That is definitely blackberry. It's almost blackberry pie-ish. It's almost like like a cobbler or something.
It's what I would expect from more or less a jam.
Yeah. So now we'll seal that one down. So now we're operating a sealed system. Let me see how these work. This one goes from the pump. So that one is going to plug into that nipple. Always make sure you've got the right nipple. And then this one is just a drain on the top. Let's test that real quick. We have water.
A bit splashy. Ooh, lots of pressure there.
It's adjustable. There we go.
Nice.
So in case I didn't mention it, I do have some bottles of ice in this pot of water because this coil is only like 3 rings of copper. It doesn't have a whole lot of time in there to chill and cool down, so I want this water as cold as possible on it. I did some research the other day. By the way, some preparatory stuff I did the other day, I will insert here. All right, so what I've got going on here is a little bit of kitchen science. So if you see what I've got going on back here, so I've got my induction ice set up and I'm testing the temperatures to see what setting I have to put it at to get it at the necessary temperatures. So we know from watching Moonshiners, 3 temperatures you got to look out for. Water boils at 212 Fahrenheit, 100 Celsius. You don't want to get to that one. You don't want water in it. We know that on the other end, the bad stuff, the bad alcohol, the methanol or whatever it is, cooks out at about 143, 145. And the sweet spot is when the good alcohol, the ethanol, cooks out. And that's at about 170 something, 175, 172, somewhere around there. I figured out how to get it to about 150 so I can clear the 140, but not hit the 170 so I can cook the bad stuff out if I need to. And right now, see if I can get that on there. I think I've got it dialed in at right about 180. That'll be a good temperature for cooking the alcohol off. All right, in this part of the flashback, I'm preparing the mash. This is a sugar mash, so it's stupid simple. So I'm actually right on time, heating my water up to 150 degrees or just shy thereof, basically till the pot's making steam, so that the water is hot enough to dissolve the sugar. This is 3 kilograms, so 6.6 pounds. So I might have to steal a little of your other bag over there.
I have 2 ready.
There she goes. The math on this is a little fuzzy. I've seen things saying that you should have 1 pound of sugar to a gallon of water. I've seen one saying you should have 2 pounds of sugar to a gallon of water. So I'm guessing anything anywhere in between is going to be somewhat acceptable.
They're ready for their sugar.
Now, we're going to get a big wooden stirring paddle because you're not from the country if you've never used a big wooden cooking instrument.
Does that mean I can spank you with?
So now, we're just stirring hot sugar water. Make sure we get all the water, the sugar dissolved in the hot water.
Nice thing.
This is going to be the fun part. How hot is that? That's not that hot. Let's hope this pot's not defective. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
And the last gallon of water. Laminar flow. Let me check the temperature on this. It's about 100. It's got to come down some. All right, well, so we don't have to wait for this to cool down because this has got to cool down to about 90 degrees or so. I've got a little over a teaspoon, like a teaspoon and a quarter of generic distilling yeast that I will throw in this when it cools down a little bit so that it doesn't kill the yeast. And then I will set this in the back room with a lid on it and we'll see it this weekend. All right, so right now I'm in the cleansing and assembly section. You can see behind me here, I got the pot. I've already cleaned and rinsed that. I've got my stove here set up. Got stuff half assembled here. Let me show you a couple things I found about this pot right out of the box. Never mind the tomatoes, but one of the things you get in the pot are these flex tubes that go to the thump keg. These come with these little silicone washers, if it'll focus on it. Don't lose these. There's one for each end. You got to make a connection here, and you've got to make a connection here in the condenser coil. I'll get back to this thing in a second. And you got to make a connection here on this pipe. So you don't want badly sealed connections in something that's making alcohol. You might blow up. That's why I have this, so I don't blow up. Now, back to this condenser coil. One of the things that I have noticed, if you see, that is coiled well within that pot. But this has to be up here so that these things can connect to it. So when my good buddy Glenn gets over here, we're going to see about manually having to bend this coil up high enough that I can get a connection on it. I don't like that. Copper is not a super strong material. It does not flex well very far. So we have to be very careful about separating these coils to get enough height to get that out. And now we're back. Hey. Anyway, part of my preparatory the other day was I checked what levels produce what temperatures on here. Mm-hmm. This is the slow part. Now we wait. Pondering the weirdness of, we both have a vague idea of how stuff gets put together in basic thermodynamics and electricity and all that good shit. Mm-hmm. This thing works by magnets.
How do they even work?
So it heats up the bottom of the pot directly where it's connected to touching the eye here. And then it warms up the stuff in the pot. So this has been going for, what do you say, 20, 30 minutes at the moment?
Yeah, close
somewhere
to 20,
around there?
Yeah.
So you can touch right here and it's getting warm. Now, first off, if you're cooking on an electric eye or a gas eye or something, not only is it making heat, but it's heating air, and that hot air comes around the side of the pot and it heats up the sides of the pot as it goes. Mm-hmm. This doesn't do that. It's just heating up where it's touching. So for the first 10 minutes or so, you could touch the side of the pot right here at the bottom and it was still cool to the touch. There's this weird tingly feeling when you touch it as well. But now we're touching it, you can feel the heat down here. But I go up here 6-8 inches, it's still room temperature. Up here at the cap, it's even cooler. But if I touch the top center up here, it's warmer than the top of the side of the pot. So it's like the heat going through the liquid on the inside, starting to steam, it's coming up, it's hitting the top of the pot. This is warming up faster than the actual side of the pot.
Wow.
That just blows my mind. That doesn't follow thermodynamics. This is hot up here and warm up here and cool in the middle. It doesn't track.
Very different experience.
Magnets, they're magic. It's witchcraft. All right, here we are. We're close up. We can focus on it. We're dripping the initial drops of the first run. Yay!
Looking forward to it.
That's going to be the heads in the foreshot, so that's the stuff we want to let run off and throw out. So, all right, we're a few minutes further in here. You can see I've got a steady drip going on there. The pot thermometer is reading about 190, but if I stick a thermometer on the side of the pot, I'm reading about 185, so that's good. If my seat of the pants math is correct, we should get about 2/3 to a jar of heads and foreshots out of this, which currently smells like paint thinner. But we'll get to the second jar and we'll see if we've got alcohol or hot dog water. All right, so I got the first jar out and I figured to do a little report while the second jar starts. I've got the pot turned down so it's cooking slow. So what we got here is the hydrometer. Unfortunately, mine is defective, but at least it's defective in a way that I think I can calculate. I've got a store-bought jar of alcohol over there that I tested it on that said it was 60 proof, and this said it was 0 proof. Easy place to start from. We're gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna grab ye old first jar of alcohol. I'm gonna try and not pour it all over the place. All right, we're bobbing. So, that's percent of alcohol. Where's the proof? Proof is over here. So proof is right at 90. Now, South Kakalaki Educational System math tells me 60 plus 90 is 150. So this first jar out is 150 proof. Smells like it too. We'll see what the rest of them come out looking like. All right, we are now at the end of the run. It was like 4 gallons, so we didn't get a whole lot of alcohol out of it. So as they came out, we've got one that measured, if my math with my broke ass hydrometer is right, 150, 140, 120, and 85 proof. So these two are hot. They're just
Spicy.
spicy. This one is drinkable, but a little spicy, but has a better flavor. This one is a little smoother, but the flavor on it started to turn a little bit. I think we started to hit the end of the tails, which I got the stills off, so this is the last. Honestly, it tastes about like the rest of that. Let me see if I got enough here to proof it. No. Well, tell you what, that was the tail end of the tails anyway, so we're just going to chunk those. What we did find out is although we put the berry stuff in there, it didn't get a really strong blackberry flavor. It was kind of blackberry adjacent, like somebody was thinking about blackberry, but
Much like LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Quick
What we
plug.
did find, we've got Korean plum concentrate or meshel in the house, and I think we might blend these two a little bit and then mix a little bit with that, and I'll use this to like clean the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
So we're gonna blend and we'll be right back. All right, so here we go. This is what we got out of my first run. 1 jar of raspberry meshel moonshine. If our broke ass hydrometer math is right, we're about 110 proof with these two mixed, and just enough meshel added to it to wipe out the burn. I'm gonna call that a success.
Quite tasty. I have to agree.
Now we got to set up for the next one because it's got to sit around for like a week.
Taste test.
Oh, you wanted us to compare it to our other store one? It's better than the store one.
Yeah.
We tasted it earlier just to know what we were starting at, and this was about as bitey as that is, and 2.5 times the proof. This, I can work with this.
Yeah. Good sweet flavor.
We are gonna clean up. We'll see y'all next time for some more shine.
Clean up. Yeehaw.